How's it going, everybody? We got a super exciting video for you today. Finally, we got to see the new legendary kit and basically allowed to share with you the next day, which is super cool. We got the Shadow King kit coming to you, but not just that. We got the new characters joining him, the reworks, and some more scopely warnings on how to prepare for Battleworld. So hopefully this video finds you well, it informs you greatly, and if it does, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. But without further ado, let's talk about this, starting with the team, the Astral team. So we know, first of all, Shadow King is a legendary character, and he has a legendary event with him. This is going to require Illuminati and Annihilators. Now, they did say you do not need Captain Britain. Obviously, there's a 5-man Illuminati team as it is without him with the Iron Man, right? I do think that the event will be possible. Difficulties, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's the, you have to have the team at 5-star or a 6-star to go through. I think it'll probably be possible, but very difficult. As someone with an account that does not have Captain Britain at all, and maybe I'll get him from the candy store, but definitely they're not going to give him free to play up to 5 or 6 stars. We'll try and find the solution for that to push that as hard as possible. But then maybe you don't have the Annihilators at 5 or 6 star anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. But here's the exciting part, guys. We have the new characters. Emma Frost. That's right. Not a reworked Emma Frost, a new Emma Frost. This is a double-edged sword, right? Because the old Emma Frost is cool. Lots of people have her built up. But she does have a lot of counters to the best part of her kit, like Nightcrawler, Apocalypse, Captain Britain, even Photon kind of stops her speed stat manipulation. And we're going to get a new one, which is also kind of cool because this is what I think should have happened to a character like Doctor Strange that we're about to see, to a character like Cyclops, like Scarlet Witch. They should have just scrapped the old character, made a new one, or at the very least just completely erased their old kit and did a new part of it. But they didn't to them, and they're not going to do it to Emma Frost. So instead, we get a brand new one, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with her because she is such a cool character in the comics. We're also going to get the Ancient One joining the roster. This is probably going to be the MCU version. I don't really have any connection with the Ancient One, so to me that's perfectly fine, and that's going to be cool. And we'll see what they're going to bring. We do have reworks to Doctor Strange and Moondragon. Now, should you run off and invest in these guys right away and put diamonds on them right away? I don't know. Maybe. This is going to be a Battleworld team, which means it's probably going to be heavily tagged, right? We did see the sneak peek of the Battleworld. If you go on the website, you go to the Battleworld tab, Astral or Pegasus. Now, I could put in Kestrel instead of Doctor Strange. Sure. Am I going to want to? Who knows? What I can tell you is that in these teams, there seems to be a character that gets left out. That didn't happen for Orcus. For Annihilators, it seems to be Surfer for a lot of people. For Night Stalkers, Moon Knight, he's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Neither is Surfer, for the record. But is he necessary? That's a different conversation. However, I do think it's a smart idea to start farming all their character shards if you don't have them maxed yet, and start hoarding resources for sure. Let's see, Doctor Strange, he's got like a buff flip, he's got revives. Moondragon, again, she's got buff strips, turn meter rewinds, defense down, heals. She has a mind control, which does fit very thematically with this team, which is what I'll talk about next. So there you go. We got the new characters, Emma Frost, Ancient One, reworks to Doctor Strange and Moondragon. There's a new part coming to Marvel Strike Force. A new attribute, I guess. It's kind of like how Old Man Logan has claws out, how Big Time Spider-Man has different stances, and it's called Possess. So it's going to be a new legendary kind of Astral team mechanic, and this is going to be basically Shadow King's entire passive. But I just want to read it to you now so you can kind of see where his power is going to be coming from, I believe. So Shadow King spawns with Possessed, and while possessed, at the end of his turn, or when any non-summoned ally, not non-summoned Astral ally, any ally, uses their ultimate ability, he will then attack the most injured enemy, so kind of like a Gambit ping, for piercing, drain, and then he steals a portion of the target's max health. It cannot be understated how important it is that it is the most injured enemy. This is going to be a very, very annoying aspect of his kit, and it's on a legendary character, so I expect it to hit really hard. He then fills his speed bar and clears a negative effect. While possessed, Shadow King cannot gain trauma or stun, so very much like Odin in that regard. The fun continues. If Shadow King is eliminated during battle, because then possessed is transferred on, this is weird wording. If Shadow King is eliminated during battle, The possessed is transferred to a random astral ally who then enjoys the abilities mentioned above. So they do have to be astral to get his possessed tag after that. So the characters we talked about in the last slide. And they're going to do everything that he does above. So it's like if Gambit's out of turn damage when he died went to Rogue, and all of a sudden she was punching them. Now I think it's going to be the exact same damage, same health steal. They will also not be able to gain trauma or stun. So this is going to be a very, very powerful thing, and it's going to lead to this team being amazing on the defensive side. It's going to be super annoying. Okay. And then if Shadow King is revived, he regains Possessed. I don't want to bury the lead. He will also remove Possessed from whoever got it from him. All right, so let's go over the Shadow King's kit. So I did include everything here for the basic, but I wanted to be very clear with you guys up front at the beginning. The Awakened abilities and what makes him go from a Battleworld slash, really good character to Battleworld and War, amazing character, and everywhere really good character. So every single Awakened ability just adds one line of text to an ability, part of an ability, adding a War feature to it. So, as far as traits go, he is Villain, Cosmic, Mutant Controller, Astral, and Legendary with a speed of 125. His basic is going to attack the primary target for 270% damage and apply 2 bleeds for 2 turns. In Battleworld, apply Blind to the primary target. He will Mind Control the enemy with the highest damage to attack the primary target, and when forced to attack an ally, this character will deal less damage to those allies. The Awakened portion of this, as you can see, everything is the exact same, except it is, when it says Battleworld, in Battleworld and War. He will apply Blind to the primary target. His Isolate counter assists, so he's going to attack the primary target for 203% damage, plus 17% piercing, applying Bleed for 2 turns. I'm actually going to take my camera off probably for the rest of the video. And then if the target is an ally, attack for 25% damage instead. So you see he's not doing the Mind Control and the ISO attack, which would be very, very broken. So I actually don't think that this legendary character is slated to be a striker, but we're going to have to wait and see. Nonetheless, very, very powerful basic. And I do think we're going to be using that because these new characters, they have so much stats. All right, here's the special. You know what? There's still room for me to pop up. So his special, this will be his turn 1 ability, both on the offense or defense. So energy cost, 5 out of 5. He will apply 2 evades and 2 offense up for 2 turns. It's 2 evade and 1 offense up, I guess, because they didn't specify. For 2 turns to self and all astral allies. That makes sense. Okay, fade for 2 evades and offense up for 2 turns to self and all astral allies. Flip all positive effects into negative effects on primary and adjacent targets. This is where I start to get worried about Doctor Strange, because this is similar to what Doctor Strange does on his opening attack, right? He flips positive effects and negative effects. It's on the entire enemy team. But the fact that Shadow King is doing partially that to adjacent allies does give me some concern about having Doctor Strange just being a little bit redundant. Attack the primary target for 300% damage and apply trauma for 2 turns, ability block for 1 turn, and defense down for 2 turns. In Battleworld, spread all negative effects except stun and trauma from primary to all adjacent targets. Attack adjacent targets for 300% damage. This is the cool part. The attack gains 500% extra focus and is unavoidable. The Awakened ability for his special is going to allow the spread all negative effects except stun and trauma from primary to adjacents to also happen in War. So very, very powerful, but definitely not like kit defining, if you ask me. So that's good, because I don't really like the Awakened abilities to be mandatory, if you will. All right, the ultimate, this will be his turn 2. This is called Astral Annihilation. I knew it was going to come. I didn't think it was going to come this soon. Reduce the duration of all negative effects on this character and each ally, not each astral, each ally, by 2. Any negative effects that has a duration of 0 expires instantly, including trauma. So we saw with Endgame Thanos, he has a decay effect on positive effects, and now Shadow King has a decay effect on negative effects. So I knew it was going to come, because they always do, positive and negative. Positive, like we had Safeguard, then we had trauma. Now we have, a decay that gets rid of Safeguard. Now we have a decay that gets rid of trauma. It makes sense on a legendary character. I just didn't think we'd see it that soon. He will then heal self and all allies for 20% of this character's max health. He will copy and clear all positive effects except taunt from all enemies. So he's going to clear everything. He will copy it all to himself. He will attack all enemies for 550% damage. Now this is not a crazy number. We got Skrull who does like 1,000, right? But this is a legendary character with the new stats. This is a huge number when you take those 2 things into account. In Battleworld, prolong the duration of all negative effects by 1 for all enemies. This attack cannot be blocked or dodged, and the awakened ability is going to add the war tag to increase the duration of all negative effects for all enemies by 1. So again, not game breaking, which I do like. I do like that the ultimate awakening ability doesn't seem to be mandatory. All right, the Shadow King passive, the last ability for him. We basically read this. This is the possessed effect. So on spawn, gain possessed, clear possessed from all allies. That's the portion where if he dies, he gets revived by Doctor Strange. He will become possessed again. It won't be somebody else. When this character or any Astral ally has possessed at the end of the turn, on character's turn, or when non-summoned ally uses their ultimate ability, attack the most injured enemy for 300% piercing, 50% drain, 5% of the enemy's max health. I cannot stress enough how ridiculous 300% piercing plus 50% drain plus 5% is going to be with the new characters. Because at first glance, it's like, okay, this possessed thing basically is just out of turn damage, like Gambit, like Astral, like we've seen a million times. I cannot stress how hard this is going to hit, being 300% piercing at the end of their turn or when any ally uses an ultimate ability. It's crazy amount of damage. All right. That then fills that possessed character's fever by 15%, clears 1 negative effect. Any character that has possessed cannot gain trauma or stun. So just to reiterate this, if Shadow King dies and the possessed goes on to Doctor Strange, now Doctor Strange cannot gain trauma or stun, so it makes it easier for him to get his revive off. It won't always go to Strange, it's a random Astral ally, but still very cool. When a character that has possessed dies, this applies possessed to a random Astral ally that does not have possessed. So once again, you kill Shadow King, possessed goes on to Doctor Strange. You kill Doctor Strange, possessed goes on to Emma. So there's always the threat of that out of turn damage at 300% piercing, which is just a crazy amount of damage. In Battleworld, enemies cannot spawn with immunity, and the awakened ability, enemies in war can also not spawn with immunity. This is actually going to be one of his like essential awakened abilities if you want to use him in war, right? This is that Mysterio effect. It's actually very, very, very powerful and very impactful. So all in all, very interested to know what you guys think about the Shadow King kit. I think that his damage looks like it's going to be a lot with the new stats. The out of turn damage plus his ultimate damage seems like it's going to be really high. He's doing a lot of different things with buffs. I am excited for this character. He does look like, Dr. Robotnik. I get it. It's fine. It happens. Yeah, I just had to say that. All right. The next thing that I do want to talk about is Scopely did give us another warning. Hey, more characters that you should buy offers for. More Battleworld prep. Okay, so Shadow King and the Astral will put a serious dent in Null's forces, but you'll need a powerful roster to thrive with your alliance. Be on the lookout for upcoming events and offers to power up the following teams to age your battles. I do also want to say, when we got the last thing like this, in-game we got offers for Annihilators with the exact same wording here. So they're just trying to sell every single team. You don't get all, oh my god, I need this exact team, right? Like, that's not the case, okay? But they're giving shout outs to Mercs for Money, Out of Time, Superior 6, Illuminati, and Cabal. So what I like to do when I see these is I like to kind of look at the tags. So Mercs for Money, we got global characters, obviously Cosmic, Deathpool, whatever. Out of Time, we got more global heroes, Deathpool, Cosmic, whatever. Superior 6, we got City and Villain, Illuminati, global heroes, but also some Cosmic characters. Sorry, not global villains, global heroes, plus some Cosmic characters. Illuminati, because there is that Cosmic and global that doesn't mesh as same as the other teams that we see here. I think that Illuminati might be one of the tag teams. Like we saw Astral and Pegasus. I do think Alpha Flight will be straight up, you need Alpha Flight for this node. I think Illuminati will be the same thing. It'll be like, okay, you can use the full Illuminati team here. And then Cabal, that's global villains. So there's food for thought. I don't think they're trying to say these teams are going to have tag requirements, though I do think Illuminati Alpha Flight might. I think it's more like an aspect of this team is going to be part of a requirement. So you should not panic, rush off, and invest giantly into all these teams. You should definitely wait. Just like for Doctor Strange and Moondragon, you should wait, analyze what happens coming down the road. Get your horde ready, though. You shouldn't be just like, if you ignore this and you say you dump all your resources into Undying, which is going to be like a really good war team, blah, 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 but we don't know if they're going to be necessary for Battleworld or anything else, then you may not have anything left for when Battleworld comes and you got to do some spot investments into some of these characters. So it's definitely time to start hoarding up some resources, getting ready for what I think is going to be a really cool and really popular mode for alliances. All right, guys, but that's it for this video. Let me know what you think about Shadow King in the comment section below. What do you think about his kit? What do you think about Emma Frost, a new Emma Frost, and the ancient one? Reworks to Doctor Strange and rework to Moondragon. Are they finally going to stick the landing on Doctor Strange, or will he be the first person replaced? I get a little worried because the Shadow King special doing a lot of what Doctor Strange special does, and the fact that they kind of, kicked him to the curb before. But he does have that revive mechanic that could get, that Shadow King dies, position goes away, you bring him back. There is something to be said there, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. But without further ado, I will talk to you guys later. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.